Today on Eagle Nation News. Who doesn't like coffee? What about a club that's all about it? Nuala Adams takes a sip of what the Teacher Coffee Club is. Some people are just born to be under the spotlight, and one just might go to one of our Prosper middle schools. Bradston Swick turns the camera to Preston Moda to hear how he is kickstarting his acting journey. Our Prosper track stars are always running and jumping, but what happens when they have to completely stop? Dylan Mize sits down with Noah Johnson to track his running journey. All this and more on today's edition of Eagle Nation News.
Good morning, Eagle Nation, and thank you for joining us. I'm Christina Krasnova.
And I'm Maddie Kep. We have a delightful show for you today highlighting many of Prosper's inspiring stories, so stick around. ENN starts right now.
Welcome back, Eagle Nation, and thank you for joining us again here at Studio 301.
Today is Friday, December 1st.
It's finally December and almost Christmas time, but for some reason the sun is still out.
I wish it was colder. That's the bad thing about Texas.
Yes, I'm from Illinois. I'm really hoping for some Christmas snow.
Me too.
And as the weather gets colder, it can be nice to relax with a warm drink. Nuala Adams takes a sip of how one of Prosper's clubs makes an impact.
Clubs are a popular way for students at PHS to connect over their interests. But located in the Culinary Hall, there's a unique club made just for teachers.
The Coffee Club we started this year as a way for teachers to sign up and pay a one-time fee for the semester of the year, and then they were able to come in anytime they want and get coffee. So it wasn't necessarily popular in the past years. This year we wanted to change it up a little bit. We decided that we would do a basic coffee membership, which was just the coffee, and then we would also offer a premium coffee club that included pastries, because everybody likes getting sweets.
Although the Coffee Club is teacher-based, it also benefits the students involved.
The students love delivering the pastries. They love doing experiments, trying out new things like biscotti, and then delivering it to the teachers and getting their feedback.
I know Miss Swanson varies what types of coffee she uses, and to be honest, I don't have a preference. They're all good to me, mainly just because it's made by Prosper students.
As opposed to selling products every week as they practice, what it does is it gives us an opportunity to make new things, to get feedback, and then because the memberships are paid memberships, it helps pay for those supplies. So it's directly supporting the learning of the culinary students.
Teachers in the club can gain more benefits than just a delicious drink or pastry.
The best part of my day is right at the beginning of second period when a student hand delivers a nice cup of coffee to me with a smile on their face.
We don't always see the people that we work with, and to have a place where we can all come in the morning to get our coffee, which everybody knows teachers need coffee. It brings people from the other side of the school, it brings people from upstairs, and hopefully you can come in and meet other people, drink coffee, and just kind of start your morning off right.
The Coffee Club continues to reach its goal of creating community while doing what they love. Reporting for Eagle Nation News, I'm Nuala Adams.
If any teachers are interested in a membership, contact Ms. Swanson in the culinary room.
Me personally, I'm not a huge coffee fan, but I know some teachers are.
I definitely am. I have to have coffee at least once a day. It doesn't fail to make it.
And celebrities never fail to make headlines, so stay tuned to hear the buzz from this week. Up next is Talent Talk, sponsored by Cookie Co.
In this locally owned and run store, cookies are made with real ingredients, real love, real good. So when you're in the mood for a delicious bite,
come try us out at Cookie Co. Frisco.
Now that it's December, it's time to take a look back at everything that's happened this year.
Yes, and one thing to look back on is music. Isabel Moulter is in studio with this week's Talent Talk.
Thanks, Christina. On the topic of looking back, let's rewind to Dolly Parton's stunning halftime show at last week's Thanksgiving Cowboys game. Dolly gave us a 6-minute performance in a bedazzled Dallas Cowboys cheerleader outfit, showing she's still got her amazing stage presence. Hit songs Jolene and 9 to 5 were sung, along with a mashup of Queen's We Are the Champions and We Will Rock You. Seeing her show on TV on Thanksgiving totally caught my eye, and it was so entertaining to watch. Staying in the world of music, Spotify released this year's Spotify Wrapped on Wednesday. Users are now able to see features such as their top 5 genres, artists, songs, and even how many minutes of music they listen to. Features to note in this year's Wrapped are the Soundtown feature, which matches your listening data to any city in the world, along with the Me in 23 feature, which gives users a personality description that matches their music taste. Not so surprisingly, Taylor Swift was Spotify's #1 streamed artist with over 26 billion global streams. Similar to Spotify Wrapped, Apple Music creates Apple Music Replay, which gives its users a couple less features but still shows top genres, artists, and songs. I know Taylor Swift was my #1 artist, and I listened to over 5,000 minutes of her. So how did y'all Spotify Wrapped look?
It was a little different than yours. It was pretty much just SZA and Childish Gambino, and for some reason I was top 1% for the weekend.
Mine was all Taylor Swift and Noah Kahan.
Of course it was. It was really cool that all my artists from all around the world.
And many actors also get the chance to travel the globe. But what about in 5th grade? Evan Author takes a snapshot of one child actor who got the chance to work with big-name actors like Tom Hanks and Scarlett Johansson.
This song is sung by 5th grade Prosper resident Preston Moda. It was Moda's main scene in his role as Dwight in the Wes Anderson film Asteroid City. During COVID season, Moda and his family packed up their bags and went to Chinchon, Spain for filming.
Preston really hadn't been in acting very long. He had just started, and so when he got a call back with Wes Anderson, it was pretty unbelievable. And then when we got called and said he got the role, we just thought, is this real? We had to have a lot of family conversations about, like, is this something that we really want him to do? Ultimately, we came to the decision that this is just an incredible opportunity that we couldn't pass up.
He kept a few souvenirs that were key during filming.
So this yellow clip in the corner right here is, they would put this in my hair every day so I could have that giant cowlick in the movie. I used a lot of those. I think I went through like 3 of those a day. And the cigarette, like I said, I was a troublemaker. And so in one of the scenes, my teacher catches me smoking with the Cowboys. And my parents actually taught me how to smoke and how to flick it into the fire. Lastly, the bullet in the corner, that was the bullet that was on my belt in the movie.
This made one thing clear for Moda. He wanted to be an actor for a living.
You meet so many new people, and that's like my favorite part of acting. And you can like interact with new people and make lifelong friends. And when I came back here, I was like, why do we live here again? Why don't we move out to somewhere exotic like that?
He worked with some phenomenal people, some directors that actors have always dreamed of working with. And it definitely gave him experience at a young age to be in front of a camera and to understand the full set experience.
And having his family is what made this trip so memorable.
I'm his biggest fan. He really enjoys acting, and I think that's a great avenue. And so just always supporting him and telling him that he's doing a good job, making sure that he's trying as hard as he can. I think that's really important.
My family definitely misses me when I go and shoot something new. They call me every day, but they're really proud of me, and they're excited every time I get a new role.
I'm Evan Author.
They called themselves the Sexy Cowboys.
Reporting for Eagle Nation News.
Asteroid City came out earlier this year, and now Preston's working on a Netflix series, American Primeval.
Yes, and I was there with him, and his sister told me he even inspired her to start acting. She's already in a short film called Career Day.
When I was in elementary school, I was playing on the playground and making mud.
Yes, I don't know what I was doing, but it was definitely not acting. These kids are so hardworking, just like our Prosper athletes, even during Thanksgiving break. So stay tuned, game time is next.
Attention all students, come to the nest to build a Lego heart on the Lego wall. For each heart build and shared, a Lego set will be donated to a child in need this holiday. It's also a competition between the high schools, so let's definitely win.
While some of our sports are winding down, others are just beginning.
Bradson Swick is in studio for this week's edition of Game Time.
Thanks, Maddie. And even though we did have a week break off of school, there were many things still going on in the world of Prosper sports. Talking it over to football first, our Prosper Eagles faced off against 2 strong teams in the second and third round of playoffs. Near the beginning of the break, our Eagles first went up against Lake Highlands in an exciting game where our Eagles dominated, ending off the game with a final score of 44-24. The win secured them a spot in the regional championship against North Crowley, which went down last Saturday. Both teams during this matchup started off the game strong, but our Prosper Eagles were not able to keep up, ending off the game with a final score of 35-7. Our Eagles had an amazing season, ending it off with a final record of 11-2 overall and an undefeated record for district play. I would like to take this time to congratulate our Prosper Eagles on an exciting season. Amazing job to our Prosper Eagles. Now passing it over to basketball news, on Tuesday, our boys basketball team faced off against Panther Creek in the PHS Arena and dominated against them with a final score of 73-64. They then faced off against the Wakeland Wolverines last night and kept their winning streak going, beating the Wolverines 63-49. The boys are expected to play Plano this afternoon at the PHS Arena, and the girls basketball team will face off against Lake Highlands this afternoon as well. It is honestly so sad to see the football season end so soon, but so excited to see this year's Prosper basketball team. Vivian Bacori is in the gymnasium to give us a peek.
Thanks, Bradston. As you can see right behind me, the boys basketball posters have just been put up. And by their appearance, I can tell they're going to be some tough competitors this year. The girls basketball posters have not been put up yet, but I can tell they're going to be just as nice. Let's make this a good season for basketball, boys and girls. Back to game time.
Thanks, Vivian. The team indeed does look great this year. I really hope we can rack in those points. Now sending it over to volleyball news, our Lady Eagles continued their playoff run at the beginning of the break as they went up against Grand Oaks. The Eagles came out strong, winning the first 2 sets, but the game took a turn in the third set when Grand Oaks was not able to only win the third set, but 2 more after that, ending the game with a final score of 3-2, a close game for our Lady Eagles. Congratulations to our Lady Eagles on an incredible season this year. And while on the topic of Prosper sports, athletics here at PHS do not come without their ups and downs. Dylan Mize has a story of one cross-country athlete at PHS who knows the challenges of athletics all too well.
Noah Johnson, a sophomore cross-country runner here at Prosper High School, hasn't always been on the easiest path.
It was right before the school year when I actually injured myself, a couple of days, like August 4th or 5th, when I went out on just a normal run. Warm-up's a very big deal in cross-country. I didn't do the full thing. I ended up going a little too fast and pulling my quad.
Even though he couldn't run for nearly 2 months, he was still practicing every day to make sure he didn't fall behind at all.
While I was injured, I went to this place called Stretch Lab. They do really good stretches. I did a lot of cardio, as I said before, and I was working abs every day at home so I can upkeep my speed.
Worked hard. He worked hard at it. He every day he wanted to do something. He couldn't run, but he was on the bike, the elliptical, treadmill, whatever he had to do to get better. Every day he wanted to push himself to get better.
I would have to bike every day on a stationary bike from 30 minutes to an hour. A little bit of intervals on it as well, and sometimes halfway through I go and switch to the elliptical, and it's really tough having to just stare at the same wall every day.
Now that Noah is back to full health, he will continue to practice and run throughout the off-season. Reporting for Eagle Nation News, I'm Dylan Mize.
It's amazing to see that even though he got injured and couldn't compete, he's now pushing through the off-season to get better for next year.
I can see that.
That's all we have for you today, Eagle Nation. Thank you for letting us tell your stories. Once again, I'm Maddie Kipp.
And I'm Christina Krasnova. Have a great weekend and go Eagles!